Good evening, Fernwood. It is your tripped out trickster Neil, and there are trois dry tree episodes remaining of Mary Hartman. We are watching episode 323 from June 29th, 1977. Yesterday was some emotional gut punches. I can't help but look back. We started in the Haggard home as Loretta was setting out to rehearse Baby Boy, which she hadn't played in quite a while, but she was interrupted by Barth Gimble, who came bearing a contract. Barth has a big meeting lined up, and he wants to get Loretta on board with a 7-year contract before he goes to meet Blumberg. Loretta wants to put off signing until she and Charlie have had a chance to read it, but Barth insists that it is just boilerplate, that it's a simple contract. Then Loretta asks if this will interfere with her donating her kidney to Kathy Shumway, and Barth insists that human lives come first. Barth then gets more urgent as he has a time crunch, and Loretta signs the papers as Charlie enters with a big announcement. He has talked to Clive at the recording studio, and they have a deal to record a new album, which will require them to take a trip to Chicago. But Barth now has the power in the situation, and as Charlie pulls out the plane tickets, he says that Loretta cannot go, and that she's going to be busy for the next 7 years. Then over at the Capri Lounge, Tom Hartman sits with Charlie. Charlie is frustrated that Loretta has to work so much, and Tom is lonely ever since Mary, his wife, ran away. Charlie gives his friend some encouragement, saying that he needs to go out and meet people and that he is an attractive man. As Tom goes to order another Diet Pepsi, he bumps into a woman and offers to buy her a drink as well. Her name is Maureen, and she recognizes Tom from the reunion that was held at his house last week. Then Tom invites Maureen to join him and Charlie at their table, and Maureen recognizes Charlie and mostly his wife because she saw Loretta hosting the Guardian Party telethon. Of course, there's more chemistry between Maureen and Tom, and Maureen lets on that when they were in high school, Maureen was jealous of Mary because Mary stole the love of her life. Tom is surprised at this, but there does seem to be some kind of magnetism between the couple, and Charlie gets the hint and takes off. At which point, Tom also gets up and tells Maureen that he would love to see her again sometime. And then it's late night in the Haggard bedroom as Loretta tells Charlie exactly how hard her day was in the studio. Charlie is in the mood for some sexual attention, which is usually the status quo in the Haggard bedroom, but Loretta is just too tired and hopes that he'll wait a little longer, at which point Charlie says that he's been waiting all day. Then Barth bursts into the room to tell Charlie and Loretta that Loretta needs her rest, that she's got a long day coming. He passes her some scripts and wishes her a good night's sleep. And this seems a bit too much for Charlie, who lets some frustration show to Loretta, at which point Loretta jumps up and bites at him. She lets out more anger than we've ever seen from this sweet young woman. And after her torrent is done, she gets under the covers and starts crying and wonders if this is what superstardom means, that Charlie and Loretta will always be fighting. And the Haggards comfort each other, and Loretta says that things will be better as Barth opens the door and reminds them that Loretta better be getting to sleep. And then Tom comes home to his bedroom and starts undressing as he finds an unfamiliar figure in the bed, or at least someone who isn't normally in the bed, and that is Maureen. Maureen says that based on their flirting at the bar, that she took that as a hint that he wanted to see her later. And when she starts to undress, Tom immediately pulls the brakes. Tom is not ready to jump into the sack so soon after Mary left. And Maureen seems insulted that there was flirting going on and that she got the wrong idea. But Tom is still holding on to those feelings of Mary, at which point Maureen gets up and says, "If you're gonna be lonely, don't be lonely around other people. And also, if you're in the mood to see someone, don't call me." Maureen leaves Tom in the dark, and he pulls up Mary's pillow and weeps into it. Everyone, we have just 3 episodes left, and yesterday wrecked me. I have a lot of feelings to be processed, so let us begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Hey, Tom, old buddy, how are you doing? Tom, I tell you something. I am flying on high octane.
I can see that, Charlie.
You know why? Do you know why? You know what put the tiger in this old tank? It's love, buddy. It's love. Love and a little lady named Loretta Haggers, who has had me up since dawn making up for lost time and recent rehearsals. Tom, there's nothing like Wheaties that could ever compete with making love in the morning. Oh. So how are you doing, Tom? You don't look so good.
Oh, I don't feel so good, Charlie. I think I'm gonna call in sick today.
Yeah. You better call in sick, Tom. You better spend the day in bed, I guess. Huh? Because I want you fit as a fiddle come Monday night, huh? On account of Monday night is when Loretta goes live on Barth Gimbel's new television show, and there's nothing going to fix you up better than Loretta Haggers live on stage, buddy.
You're right about that. That's all I need, though, right? To spend day and night in an empty bed. I wonder what Mary's doing now.
Oh, Tom.
She's probably making Foley coffee, right?
Tom.
Yeah. Ironing his shirts, waxing his foot. You know what the hell she's doing? She's doing the same thing for him that she did for me.
Tom, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right, fella.
Yeah. You know what I can't stand, though? You know what I really can't stand is the thought of those two. The two of them. Making love. Jesus! Can't stand it!
Well, just...
No, I can't. I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because it's one thing to think of a one-shot deal in a cardiac care unit in a hospital room. But now they got their own bed and their very own love nest. I mean, I can't stand it, Charlie. I can't stand it.
Well, erase the picture from your mind. Just erase it, Tom. You can't go on thinking like this. You drive yourself crazy.
You know, you know what's really, really interesting? I'll tell you. Of all the time that a wife spends with her husband, and all the things she does for him, like in the kitchen, or in the supermarket, or in the laundry, or watching television, but it's always a time in the bedroom that you remember the most. People remember that. Even if me and Mary, we spent 2 whole hours in actual lovemaking a week. That's all I can think about. All I can think about.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now she's probably spending those 2 hours with Foley. Or 8. Or 10. Maybe 10. 10. Oh, boy. He probably sends his laundry out so they can have more time.
Tom, come on, Tom. Listen, I got to get to work. Tom, I got to get to work. If you're not coming, then you better spend the day just pulling your own self together. You can't go on like this, Tom. You can't. Shape up, man. Come on. You can't live this way.
Hey. Pal.
Yeah.
He's right. Yeah, he's right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely. Hiya, Stovey Wowie. did you hear what Charlie said about me torturing myself? He's right, you know. Hey, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said about him and Loretta? Huh? Wasn't that nice? They're, making love in the morning. That's, oh, God. I wonder if Mary and Foley were doing the same thing. I don't know. I could have done it. Last night, I could have made love. Yeah, I could have. I could have had a hot time. I really could have. I could have. How's that tickle your burners, huh? Does that tickle your burners, does it? Oh, oh, my God. Look at me. What am I doing? Yeah, that's right. I'm completely out of control. Everything's gone now. My God, here I am talking to a damn stove. I should be talking to a person, a nice, warm, human person. Somebody who cares about me, somebody I can talk to. That's what I should be talking to. Who the hell can I talk? Heather, I could talk to Heather. I could say that. I can't do that either because she's had it with me. She's really had it with me. She is right because I am not a decent father and I'm no person for a teenage girl to handle. It's true, Martha and George, I could talk to them. But hi, Fred, how are you? Huh, pal? I gotta worry about Kathy. They got her kidneys, yeah. And, Kathy, she's got too much. She's probably not in the mood to talk to me. And Loretta's rehearsing. Oh, pal Charlie. He's heard it all, hasn't he? Yeah. So, doesn't give me too many people who care about me, does it? Hey, out there! Anybody want to talk to Tom Hartman? I didn't think so. Oh, Snoopy. Hey, Snooper. I got palsy wowsy. How are you? Who can we talk to, huh? Who can... So you can talk to Stovey Wovey here. Hey, hiya, pal. How are you, huh? How you doing, pal? Let me give you a little kiss, huh? That's nice. You're a little cold. Let me warm you up a little bit. A little warmy. There we go. There you go, pal. Oh. What a nice tummy. Let me open you up and see what you got in there in your tummy. Oh. Look at your tum-tum. Oh, so nice in there. Oh, nice and warm a bit. Yeah, cozy. You got a... What's the light in there? Let me blow your little light out. There. See? It's better. Nice and cozy and dark. That'd be really nice. Let me just put my little hand on your little old tummy-wummy, stovey-wovey. Oh, you make such a nice, little hissing sound. It kind of lulls you to sleep, you know? That's so nice in here. Oh. Oh. Night-night. Night-night.
Yoo-hoo! Anybody home? Oh. Tom, you should wait until you feel better before you clean the oven. Charlie said you were feeling very poorly, so I brought you this casserole. Oh, dear. The gas isn't supposed to be on when you clean it. Tom, that's a no-no. Tom. Tom. Oh, no. I think I'm going to faint. Oh, no. I can't faint. I've got to save Tom. Oh, Tom, come on. Oh, my God. Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that the hospital taught me artificial respiration when I was a grade lady. Let me see. What do I do first? Oh, yes. Pull head up and raise neck back. Oh, sorry. Two. Check in mouth for loose obstacles. Oh, that seems to be all clear in there. Number three. Oh, I know. Pinch nose and pull jaw down. Number 4, blow into the mouth. Oh, breathe, damn you. Oh, Tom, please. Am I doing this in the wrong order? Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'll get you some water, Tom. I'll get you some water. Don't move.
I feel terrible.
Here. Oh, no. That looks awful. Don't drink it. Yuck. Is everything all right, Tom? Can you breathe?
Yeah, I can breathe. It's just I feel I'm sick to my stomach. What happened?
You should never stick your head in the oven when the gas is on.
Gas. I really miss having Mary around the kitchen.
A man could die that way. Tom, you've been drinking again. That's another way a man can die.
Look, Mom, you probably should have left me in there. I mean, you know, it's nice and warm in there. I probably could have gotten used to it and...
Oh, no, Tom. Don't talk like that. Why, you're like our son now. We've already lost one daughter, and we may lose the other. Oh, Tom, you mean so much to us, and we all need you so much, especially little Heather.
Heather probably get along very well without me, believe me.
No, she couldn't. She's just a child, and a child needs a parent. Not a moping, drunken zombie. Of course not. Tom Hartman, you have got to learn to cope.
Cope? Why? Why do I always have to cope? Why the hell do I always have to settle for everything, for God's sakes? Why me?
Come back.
Why me?
Because that is the way it is. Get this.
Jesus, Mom.
I'm sorry. Tom, I'm sorry. You are young and sweet and smart and handsome, and you've got your whole life ahead of you. If your life is without Mary, then you'll just have to get used to it. Tom, please, Tom, I'm not used to coping with a situation like this, being logical like this. So you're just going to have to try.
Mom, I don't think you understand. I don't think I can make it without Mary. I don't think so.
Yes, you can. Now, come on. Get up and come on. I'll get you Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi, that sounds good.
Okay.
Have me one little Diet Pepsi.
All right. Here we are. Diet Pepsi coming up.
Got it. Hits the spot.
Now, Tom, I'm going to say this just once, and I'll never say it again. Your life is no different than anybody else's. Sure, you have your problems. So do I. So does everybody. But you have got to learn to adjust to that. Shape up. You've got to start taking better care of yourself and Heather. Oh, God. If I ever see you feeling sorry for yourself again, I'm going to tell George. And you know what he would do if he ever saw you giving up on life like this? Do you know what he'd do? Why, he'd kill you right on the spot. Now, you behave yourself. Will you do that? And enjoy your casserole? Oh. Don't bother to heat it up. It's already warm. I'll see you later, Tom.
Well, he can warm your heart, he can chill your soul, he can shake you up with his woo, rock and roll, tease your heartstrings till they're humming, woo, through the livelong day.
Yeah, no.
Broken
He's a little bit.
Okay.
He's a.
He's a little bit country and a little bit of city now.
Soul.
He's got love songs to blow your cares away. He can warm your heart, he can chill your soul, he can shake you up with his woo, rock and roll, tease your heartstrings till they're humming through the livelong.
Hey, oh, doctor, for crying out loud, can't this wait a minute? We've got a really big producer coming in here.
And I have a patient that's in need of Mrs. Hager's kidney. Do you mind if I light up?
No, go ahead. Okay, kid, take 5.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right, let's sit down over here, Doc.
Okay.
Hello?
Sorry.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi, baby boy. How are you, darling?
Barth, I'm fine. Barth,
Uh-huh.
here's the keys to the car I rented. I had to rent it for a month.
Thanks, Charlie. Would you believe I would come to town with no cash at all?
Yeah, Barth, I would believe it.
No. Yes.
Mr. Gimbel, Mr. Gimbel.
Oh! Mr. Blumberg. Welcome.
I thought you were supposed to be rehearsing a show here.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I hope it's a good one. My people in New York are looking for a talk show with, that middle America, Midwest feel to it.
If I got Midwest for you. Say, come here. Loretta Haggers, superstar. I'd like you to meet Seymour Blumberg, our producer / packager from the Big Apple, if I might add that.
Oh, hi, Mr. Blumberger. How are you, huh? How you doing?
All right, breathe deeply. That's it. Breathe in. Hold it.
I'm Charlie Haggers.
What's the matter? She got emphysema?
No, just routine tests.
Gimbel, I don't get it. I mean, where's the set, the costumes, your backup band? Two unknowns. I don't know. I don't think you have your act together, Gimbel.
Mr. Blumberg, you've not heard her sing, and you've not seen me MC, and you've not seen the charts and stuff. Look. Okay.
What is this, a charity bazaar for the AMA?
Kathy, right on time. Boop. Good.
Yeah, well, your office told me that we should have our meeting down here.
Huh? Oh, yeah, well, today I'm sort of working out of the Capri. Sit down.
Okay. Hi.
Hello? Yeah, he's here. Dr. Furman, you're wanted on the phone.
Oh, excuse me. Hello. Yes, that's right. What? Well, X-rays never lie, do they? Do they? No, they don't. No. Okay. It's all right. Bye-bye. I have an announcement to make. It seems that Mrs. Haggers cannot be a donor after all.
What?
Why? You said herself her blood was just right.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with her kidneys, is there?
No. No problem in the kidney area. I mean, her kidney is working just fine.
Oh, phew, well, that's a relief.
Her what? Doc, did you say her kidney like in one?
Well, it appears that one of Loretta's kidneys was accidentally removed last year by Dr. Hastings when he removed the fibroid tumor, but not to worry. I mean, the one you have left is in tip-top shape. Boop. Just
My
terrific.
kidney was removed? They was removed?
No. Kidney. I mean, singular. You still have one, and it's a beaut. It's just...
Why didn't he tell us?
Yeah.
Why didn't he charge you?
My gosh, what is poor Kathy gonna do now?
Well, don't worry about me. I mean, I'm sure there's someone in Fernwood who will be a donor.
You poor kid. Boy, I wish there was something I could do for you.
Well, if your late brother Garth were here, you know, he could be a donor. See, I performed the autopsy when he perished at Christmas Tree Point, so I know that the blood type was the same. And you're his twin brother. You could be a donor.
I could?
Right.
No, I can't. I can't because I have I have weak knees and a really bad back. I smoke an awful lot. My aunt's a Christian Scientist.
I've worked on words. Take your shirt off.
No, I have to do a show.
Look, you could come to the hospital tomorrow afternoon. I perform the operation tomorrow night. Take your shirt off.
You know what I think? Son of a gun. You know what? I have dinner plans for tomorrow night.
Look. I want to give you some literature and explain Kathy's condition.
All right, look. Gimbal, you're unknown. Right, I mean, you need some hype. Now, the public loves a sacrifice, especially a human sacrifice. I'm not saying take your life, just one tiny kidney. It's a trade-off. Your kidney for a shot at the big time. And if you don't do it, well, baby, I'm sure Central Casting can find someone who will.
Nothing would make me happier than to donate one of my kidneys to Kathy Shumway.
You will?
The Lord always provides. Thank you, hon.
Well, that is a turn of events. So we really pick up from yesterday and Tom and his emotions. And really, with Mary taking care of herself, the only thing that I was concerned with was how Tom was going to bounce back from it in that relationship, right? Because I would imagine that Mary is very happy where she is, wherever she is, and I wish the best to her. But Tom is a mess. He's wearing the same shirt that he wore last night, and I didn't mention yesterday, but that's the same shirt that he wore to make up with Mary that first time that they broke up in season 1. It was the shirt that he wanted to make an impression for her in. He cooked a meal for her, and that's how they got back together after the affair that he had with May Olinsky. Charlie is as supportive as he can be, although he does go to work, and Tom really is in awful shape. He's drinking. That's the first shot, and that makes an impression when you think of this character, considering his history with alcohol. Charlie makes a fairly weak attempt to separate him from the whiskey, and then leaves for work. And then Tom is dealing with his loneliness. And I feel like even today, loneliness is epidemic. And part of this show for me was in that period when we weren't really allowed to see each other at all, creating something where I could share experience with folks. So that's something that resonates with me a lot. I really was very alone for most of 2020. So for those of you who've been watching this long, thank you. Tom deals with his loneliness by talking to the appliances, starting with the stove. And when I saw him talk to the stove, I was really fearful. I became very fearful. And even if Tom didn't intend suicide, he's certainly on a self-destructive path. He really was out of control. He couched it in how comforting the oven was. But people don't stick their heads in the oven because they feel nice. He turns on the gas on the stove and he turns off the pilot light. And that's when we go to commercial break. And then Martha comes in with a casserole or a bowl of food and discovers him there. And that had to be horrific, horrifying, terrifying, just utterly gut-wrenching to see someone on the verge of losing their life. And luckily, Martha had the experience of the Grey Ladies to vaguely do CPR until he woke up again. And Martha gives Tom her buck up speech, right? I think that's what Charlie and she both say. You gotta learn to take care of yourself, which is part of the deal with loneliness. You really have to be self-sufficient and self-loving. Tom doesn't have that. We know that Tom, throughout his history, really hates himself. He really hates his lot in life. And that's the difficulty with Tom, right? Because he wanted to be someone loving to Mary to some extent, but he really hated his situation. He hated working at the factory. He hated who he was. He had all of that negative messaging early in life from folks like Coach Fetters that sort of taught him to hate sexuality. He eventually got over that. But now that Mary is gone, he doesn't know how to be with himself. He doesn't have anyone in the community. He goes out into the doorway and yells out in the neighborhood. If anyone wants to talk to him, he has no one. He does have Martha. The Shumways care for him. Charlie loves him even though he didn't stick around. I feel like these last 2 remaining episodes are gonna be addressing Tom. And I mean, this whole week should be, because the lack of Mary Hartman would be an enormous, enormous hole in someone's life. And that's what he doesn't know how to fill. And next we're at the Capri Lounge, where Loretta combines rehearsal with getting a test from Dr. Furman. Of course, yesterday some of the fight was about Loretta having to take a medical test, have blood taken from her while she was rehearsing. That's when things really started to blow up. And here she is doing this. And obviously she's in a tough place, right? She's in that contract with Barth, and she really does want to give this kidney up. And Charlie comes in to kind of bolster her spirits. They had sex that morning, which is in contrast to the way Tom was feeling at the beginning of the episode. Then Blumberg comes in. I think it's Sidney Blumberg, and he is not impressed with what he sees from Barth. There's a woman having a medical test that isn't actually rehearsing. I mean, this situation is a bit much. Kathy comes in because apparently that's where all of the medical stuff will be happening at the Capri. And then it turns out that Loretta has only 1 kidney, which would have happened early in season 1 when for a little while she and Charlie thought they were expecting a baby. It turned out to be the cystic tumor, but apparently at that time her kidney was removed. And I could have sworn that was Dr. Furman, but I forget which doctor did that surgery. I know Dr. Furman has been around that long. I remember now that there were a number of surgeons involved in that. There were at least 2 other doctors besides Dr. Furman, so I think Dr. Furman didn't actually do the surgery. I remember that there was a potential court case after her surgery when she lost the ability to walk. However, Loretta is no longer a candidate because she needs the kidney that she has, and Dr. Furman puts together the thing that I had considered on Monday, that Barth would be a candidate based on the fact that his twin brother was the only other person. We still haven't heard word from Mary. Mary is out in the wind somewhere, as they say. Barth gets some urging, though, from Blumberg that this would make an impression on the American public, and that giving up his kidney to Kathy would do something for this show. I didn't mention that just before shooting this, I kind of looked ahead. I did a little homework to look into the dates of the show, Fernwood 2 Night, and it turns out that Fernwood 2 Night literally appeared the Monday after Mary Hartman ended. So I suppose we'll have somewhat of a simulation going on there next Monday. That's a few days away, though. For now, it's time for me to address the question of the week, which I asked back in January. The question then was, what was your takeaway from watching Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman? And part 2 of that question is, what shows would you recommend to folks who enjoyed this series? Our response today is from longtime commenter Kevin Johnson. 1. The contextual commercialism and absurdity of Middle America is profound. Maybe not this intense, but Ohio is the Midwest. And I think looking at issues without being preachy or after-school special helps. Racism and misogyny and gender inequality and domestic violence and cults and adultery and venereal diseases and yellow, waxy buildup all existed. I think what I like most about the show is it doesn't comment on those issues, more or less showing those issues happening to Middle America and seeing what really happens. And as I mentioned yesterday, there were a lot of things that came up in this show. It was full of references. It was full of immediate things that were happening in the 1970s. I didn't know this when Adeline first appeared, for instance, but this was almost a direct parody of Jimmy Carter's mother being allowed into the White House. So this would have been really, really on the nose. But, you know, it goes back to magazine references and books that were literally being seen. None of the products that I have seen in this show seem to me to be fictional. I think they are all actual products. And I don't think that they got any product placement out of their use. So this was meant to feel really immediate at that time. Now we look at it with nostalgia. It's a bit of a different lens. But as I mentioned yesterday, this show has some universal elements, things that we still feel. We still feel lonely. We still feel disconnected from others around us. We still feel pain and anxiety, and like sometimes we're losing our grip. But we also have a second response from Kevin. As for new shows, I would recommend Fernwood Tonight. That's coming soon. I also would recommend Forever Fernwood. I don't have access to that at all. I also would recommend Soap. The latter of the shows, Soap, was a precursor to Benson and Golden Girls, actually the same people that wrote the 2 other shows before Cheers. The 2 writers, Les Charles wrote Phyllis, a spin-off of Mary Tyler Moore's show. A lot of different shows get name-checked there. None of them are really modern, but things that you should be able to look up. I've seen DVD sets for almost everything that Kevin has named. I've watched all of Soap, and the first 3 seasons of that are really pretty lovely, and I think more on-the-nose hilarious than Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. It was another comedic soap opera that went week to week rather than nightly. So they had a little more time to polish things on that show. And I think the characters in that show are very rich and relatable as well. They certainly played with a very clear setup and punch joke structure. Generally speaking, it was very, very relatable. The 4th season went fairly off the rails, but I feel like that it was a popular enough show that it was going to do that. Of course, recently, last year, we had the passing of Betty White, and she was the last of the Golden Girls to survive. She lived up until 99, just before her 100th birthday, but I suppose if you count leap years and all of that, she certainly surpassed 100 years of time on this earth. But the Golden Girls, a lovely show. I haven't seen every single episode. I've seen a good chunk of it, though. I watched it while it was on the air, and occasionally we'll catch it on reruns. And that show really had some amazing, amazing forethought. Like, it was ahead of the curve on so many topics, sexuality and LGBT stuff going on, and just the idea that women who were above 50 could be main characters. And at this point, I've just got to say thank you so much for watching with me. Since we were talking about loneliness, thank you for helping me address my loneliness. Thank you for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions down in the comments. Thank you for joining me for these final dry tree episodes of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. We will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.